Boston 25 News has been hearing about the real estate market, and it's making it hard for so many of you to buy a home. So we're getting real about the housing crunch in a series of reports. Today we go down to Cape Cod, where the spike in home prices is making affordable housing almost impossible to find. It's casting a shadow over the area's future, with some wondering how the Cape will function if workers can't afford to live there. Dylan Fernandes grew up in Cape Cod and came back after graduating from college. He finally closed in this house in Falmouth a few months ago.
It has been so hard. I looked for about a decade to buy a home here, one that I can hardly afford.
Fernandes is happy with his new home, but it did get him thinking. Why was it so hard for a state rep to be able to live in the district he represents?
When the legislators in a community can't afford to live there, along with all the other public servants, it really erodes the sustainability of a community.
The Cape housing market is on fire. According to Redfin, the median price for a new home is now $535,000, up about 30% since last year. Much of the spike is attributed to people fleeing cities during the pandemic and working from home on the Cape.
With the COVID crisis, kind of iced out our locals. It's a really, really big problem.
Lindsay O'Connell is a broker associate at Orleans Village Properties. She's also on Chatham's Affordable Housing Task Force. She says more residents with good jobs, police officers, firefighters, and teachers are getting priced out of the Cape's market every day.
I have nurses that are coming to me and saying, I want to buy my first house. What can I buy? And I literally am looking at them saying, I can't find you a house in Chatham, Orleans, Brewster, or Harwich for $450,000. That isn't a teardown.
O'Connell says each transaction with a seasonal buyer eats away a little more at the Cape's quality of life.
Let's face it, your neighbor from Connecticut who has the home next door isn't going to be the butcher in the butcher shop cutting your meat. So this is the problem that we're running into.
I don't want to say we're at a tipping point yet.
Alyssa Magnotta is the CEO of the Housing Assistance Corporation in Hyannis, a nonprofit that is working to stabilize the Cape's housing supply.
It is a point in time that people have to face the facts that the Cape is changing.
Magnotta says that means it's time to re-examine zoning laws so more multifamily buildings get built, not just luxury single-family homes, and expand the so-called ADUs, accessory dwelling units, converted basements or garages that can be rented out. She also supports charging seasonal homeowners higher taxes. Representative Fernandes has another approach. He's filed a bill that would allow Nantucket to put a surcharge of 0.5% on real estate transactions over $2 million.
We're just asking the state for the tools to be able to raise the revenue to fix the housing crisis.
We're starting to see a lot of people are leaving Cape Cod. Every community needs to have every level of housing in order to properly function. We cannot function on multi-million-dollar properties alone. It absolutely cannot happen.
By the way, not any easier to rent on the Cape. Agents tell us the vacancy rate is about 1%.